Warning! The root's on fire! You're about to experience the most high-octane, pedal-to-the-metal controversial show of your life. Please buckle up and hold on tightly. This station is not responsible for injuries. This is Wayne Allyn Root, raw and unfiltered, with America's favorite conservative rock star. Direct from the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas. What time is it? It's time for war! Here's your host, 100% raw truth, 100% American made, the warrior, Wayne Allyn Root.
All right, Wayne Allyn Root, the root is on fire. I hope you tuned in last night to our very first show. Called America Speaks on Real America's Voice TV Network, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, every night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then on Fridays, in that exact same time slot, we'll run my show, America's Top 10 Countdown. It'll be the first preview of America's Top 10 Countdown on Fridays. Instead of just watching it on Saturday at noon, you get it on Friday night at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. So that time zone is mine, right? 10 o'clock East Coast time, 7 o'clock Pacific on Real America's Voice is my real estate now. And I decided to put Friday's show as top 10. And then Saturday, top 10. And then Sunday night, top 10 at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. So we take over the whole RAV universe, Monday through Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday, too. So 7 days a week, Wayne Root on Real America's Voice TV. I hope you're getting my new book, How Illegal Immigrants Have Made America Great, 100 Blank Pages. It's available at Amazon and only Amazon, Amazon.com. They sell 95% of all books in America, so you can buy it at Amazon and turn it into a #1 bestseller. It's funny. It's a gag gift. It says right on the cover, warning, do not show this book to Democrats. Their heads will explode. 100 blank pages, all the great things illegal immigrants have done to make America great. Anything else to tell you about? No, that's about it. Let me tell you about what's going on in the world. Damn right, L.A. Mayor Karen Bass vows to lead resistance against immigration agents during the World Cup. So I was going to write a commentary today, but I never found the time. I've had a really busy day and a lot of things going on. As a matter of fact, to mention what's going on my new show, America Speaks, 20,000 people try and get through, and like 10 of them get through each night to speak to me. So that's not really fair. So call, please, 1-800-347-ROOT, and try and get on. But if you can't get on, you get a busy signal, just send me an email, and I'll read it on the air. So now in the first segment of the show, I'm going over the biggest news stories of the day. In the second segment of the show, I'm going to read the viewer emails on the air and answer their questions live on the air. So you'll get your name on the air without ever getting through. It's just another alternate way to hear America's voice. And then the third and fourth segment of the show will be nothing but calls. So that's the way we're doing it now. So email me, wayneroot@gmail.com, with any questions or comments on my show tonight. Email me. I've got about 100 from last night. But if you send me something good today, I'll shuffle the deck and put it at the front of the deck. And obviously, there's not time for all of them either. But a lot of them we'll get on the show because I'll read them fast, give you a quick answer, and move on to the next. So I never had a chance today to write the commentary I was going to write. What I wanted to write was that President Trump, it's really to President Trump, and the commentary is going to be President Trump arrest Karen Bass right now. And today's the election, by the way. You're not going to find out who the mayor is because it's going to be a two-person runoff. No one's going to get 50%. So it's going to be Karen Bass against Spencer Pratt. We all know that. Pratt will probably come in first today. But there's that third candidate who's a socialist. Add her 24% of the vote to Karen Pratt's 30%, and you got 54, and that's what will happen in the general election. Pratt's not going to win. I'm all for him. I'm on his side. I'm on his team. But it's impossible to win in L.A. And there's two commentaries I want to write this week. The first one is President Trump arrest Karen Bass because she's saying, I want to lead the resistance against DEA agents. That's criminal. Since when are you allowed as a politician? Let's just say that I, Wayne Root, hate black people. And so I refuse to accept discrimination laws. I refuse to accept black children in school. Okay, I'm a KKK member, which is what Democrats would like to call all of us, and we know it's all lies because I've never been that one day in my life. But let's say I was. Would you not arrest me if I refuse to follow American federal law? So these are people, these Democrat mayors, these resistance, insurrection mayors, are breaking the law and violating the United States Constitution, breaking the federal law and violating the U.S. Constitution. When they say they're leading the resistance against ICE, arrest them, put them on Con Air, right, with handcuffs in front and leg irons, put them on Con Air and fly them to Gitmo for a treason trial. This is treason against the United States of America. Karen Bass, whether she wins tomorrow or comes in second, arrest her right on the day she thinks she won or she made the runoff. Arrest her in front of the United States, in front of the world, and show the resistance judges and the resistance politicians that if you try and break American law, if Wayne Root breaks American law, don't I go to jail? Wouldn't I go to jail for treason if I tried to aid and abet criminals? So Patar, my director, is saying 100%. And Patar is an immigrant, a legal immigrant from Serbia. And he said 100%. Anything I do, I go to jail in a second. So I don't know if it's treason or not. I think it's treason. But send him to jail for aiding and abetting criminals. Send her to jail for something. Because you got to send the message. And I said this when Trump was running for president. You got to arrest the insurrectionist judges and the insurrectionist politicians who are leading this terrible resistance, insurrection, coup, traitorous overthrow of the United States government. If they don't want to listen to Trump, that's their problem. If they break the law, it's our problem. Arrest them. And the second one I want to write is, you can't beat them. You can't beat Karen Bass. I'm sorry, Spencer Pratt. You're not going to beat Karen Bass in the general election. I'm sorry, Steve Hilton. You're not going to beat the Democrat in the general election because they can't let you win. Because in a blue state like California, the corruption is so deep, so overwhelming. So many, I think at this point, trillions have been stolen, not billions. It has to add up over 10 years to trillions of dollars of American taxpayer money on that train to nowhere and on all of the daycare centers and all of those places they're sending people that are owned by Somalis and illegals. They're all ripping you off. The money that was stolen during COVID was like literally billions of dollars. Like $500 billion was stolen, I think. They cannot let a Republican win mayor of LA or governor of California because then that person will conduct an investigation and find out who committed all the crimes. So all the people who committed the crimes will go to jail for a long time. So they can't let this happen. They cannot let any Republican see what they've been doing. So those are the two columns I want to write, and they're both on the money, I'm telling you. They can never let them win. They can't let them peek into the secrets of the Democrat Party, which is 100% built on theft and stolen seats, on fake ID, on no ID, on illegal aliens being able to vote, on homeless people voting multiple times from one address at one mission in downtown Los Angeles for the homeless. They vote in Arizona, they vote in California, they vote in Nevada. They get them to vote multiple times. It's all stolen. It's you're living on stolen land, and they can't let anyone see what's really going on. So I'll be writing those sometime this week. And then appeals court sides with a crazed Biden judge and rules the Pentagon illegally banned transgender troops. A 2-1 ruling. So two liberal losers voted 2-1. Wow, that changes the entire American system of the United States, right? I mean, changes the whole military. You could change the law. You could change taxes. You could change the economy. 2-1 decisions in federal courts. And two of them are liberal judges appointed by Obama. Okay. Or Biden. Or even Clinton at this point. There's a few Clinton ones left. And you can't, they say you can't ban transgenders. Men who think they're women wearing high heels and lipstick with a tight dress can be allowed into the army. I mean, it's just ridiculous. They're misfits. They're losers. And they cannot be allowed. You'll destroy the morale of the whole army. These people are all crazy, these judges. And this, to me, is the story of the day because it sums up. And there's a lot of stories today. I just started with a few of them, but this one sums up everything going on in America today. Find me someone who's anti-ICE, and I'll find you the lowest, vilest form of human scum. Anti-ICE activist accused of leaving agent with horrific bite wounds is previously accused of distributing child porn. Isn't that interesting? Gruesome photos of the agent's injuries, gashes, and teeth marks on his skin He was kicking and biting ICE agents during protests, leaving the agent with horrific bite wounds. And he's an anti-ICE rioter identified as Brendan John Gear. And let's see, I just want to find out what he did in the past. So he was previously charged with sexual abuse of children related to possession of child pornography in Pennsylvania. On September 21, 2018, the Berks County detectives received a complaint from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children involving the possession and uploading of child pornography through Skype. And it was this guy. The IP address and device was associated with Brendan Geyer. And they had a search warrant, and as a result of the search warrant, they seized a laptop computer. Forensic exam conducted yielded numerous digital images of child pornography. Suspected, we have to say suspected child pornography. So this guy that hates ICE and that bit an ICE officer and gave him gruesome wounds likes to watch little children get raped. Allegedly. This is what you're dealing with. And unfortunately, I see a high school valedictorian in North Carolina had to be literally ripped off the stage because she tried to rant against ICE and Israel. Tied together. The ones who hate the Jews, hate ICE, and love illegal immigrants, illegal aliens. They're all tied together, the Jew haters. We'll be right back. Warning, do not show this book to Democrats. Their heads will explode. It's How Illegal Immigrants Have Made America Great, and it's 101 blank pages. 101 blank pages. It's a great gag gift to show to anyone in your life. Buy 50 of them and hand it out to all your friends to make the case that we all know that illegal immigrants have done nothing for America. Stop lying. Anything they did 100 times more was bad. How illegal immigrants have made America great. A few of them have done some good things. They've been maids, they've been nannies, they've mowed your lawn. Okay, but they took billions in welfare, billions in food stamps, billions in disability. It is a net negative on America, and I prove it with 100 blank pages. You'll love the book. Go get it at Amazon. Look up Wayne Allyn Root Books, and we'll turn this into a #1 bestseller, as all my recent books have been. All right, so I've been telling you about Zicha Genesis Medicine, and it's medicines to reverse type 2 diabetes, Parkinson's disease, and the #1 cause of death in the world, small vessel heart disease. That form of heart disease is responsible for about 1/3 of the deaths in the world, and therefore 1/3 of everyone watching. Joining us now is the CEO of Zicha Genesis Medicine, Dan Montano. Dan, your company's making some great medical advancements. Update on what you're doing in regard to brain disorders like Parkinson's disease.
First, Wayne, thank you for your support of yours and your people. It's been fantastic. Neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's disease, we believe, are vascular disruption in the brain. A stroke, dementia, Alzheimer's are all the same. But let me show you a Parkinson's patient, because a video is worth 1,000 words. This is Matt Davis. You see the date, May 23. He's being asked to lift his right foot. You can see that he can't lift it because his Parkinson's is so bad. He is in a wheelchair. He cannot walk. That is May 2023. We then dosed him, and here he is, April of 25, walking by himself down the driveway. He is unassisted, walking for the first time in 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
But it gets better, Wayne, because after 6 more months of dosing, he's playing catch, ball back and forth. This is a person who is improving from Parkinson's, recovering, not declining like everybody else you've ever heard of. We have 250 people like him.
Dan, that is amazing. Tell my fans about Zicha's investment opportunity.
It's very simple. People invest in funding a clinical study like the one on Parkinson's. We pay them 10 times their investment over from a royalty of 50%. If they're not happy at 48 months, I pay them double their money. And this allows us to pull forward a lot of the research we've done, like chronic wounds, Parkinson's, etc.
It sounds too good to be true. How do you justify that?
Very simple. Take the type 2 diabetes. The investors put up $5 million for the study. We pay them $50 million. The marketplace applications are probably $100 billion for us over the next 7 years. Who wouldn't pay $50 million to get $100 billion?
Unbelievable. That's an amazing story. If you're interested in learning more about this investment opportunity, go to cure-war.com, cure-war.com. Wouldn't it be great to make money and help cure disease at the same time? That's cure-war.com. Thank you, Dan. God bless you.
Bless you. Bye-bye.
My new book is out, How Illegal Immigrants Have Made America Great. You can only get it at Amazon. How Illegal Immigrants Have Made America Great. Finally, all of their unsung achievements in one book, and it's 100+ blank pages. Okay, get it? It's a gag gift, and it even says on the front, warning, do not show this book to Democrats. Their heads will explode. And the greatest gag gift ever for conservatives, Republicans, MAGA patriots, and anyone born in the USA. How Illegal Immigrants Have Made America Great. 100 blank pages. Go get 10 copies, 20 copies. Give it out to all your friends so they get the message that illegal immigrants have not done anything to make America great. And by the way, understand my theory here. Legal immigrants have done lots of things to make America great. Our whole country is legal immigrants. My grandparents were legal immigrants. Your grandparents were legal immigrants. Your great-grandparents were legal immigrants. All right, Wayne Allyn. I also wanted to mention, on the topic of transgenders in the military, can you, first of all, under Obama and under Biden, the military couldn't meet its recruiting numbers because nobody wanted their sons to go fight in an army with a bunch of transgenders. And under Trump, we're beating our recruiting numbers every single week, every single month, every single day. And that's because it's cool to be in the military again, because Trump isn't going to let you die in the name of wokeism or communism or in the name of a lawyer who won't let you shoot your gun. And it won't make you stay in a foxhole with a transgender. Can you imagine, just thinking about this in the break, can you imagine being in a foxhole with a guy who thinks he's a gal, or a gal who thinks he's a guy, or it thinks it's an it? I don't know what the hell they think. I don't know what they are. But I certainly don't trust them because it's a mental illness. See, I've never said gay is a mental illness. You want to be gay, be gay. You want to be lesbian, be lesbian. I don't think it's a mental illness. It's just something you're born with. But it sure is a mental illness to be transgender, to think you're in the wrong body and God made you in the wrong body. And a man becoming a woman and a woman becoming a man is mental illness. You can't allow them to be cops. You can't allow them to be in the military. I wouldn't want them guarding me. I wouldn't want to depend on a transgender in my foxhole. I would worry about a transgender in my foxhole. You think they're brave in battle, or you think they join the military because they want a free sex change operation? I know why they joined the military, to get a free sex change operation and cost the taxpayers $150,000. So that's the first thing I was thinking about in the break. The second thing is, Trump had a phone call that was supposedly a very rough phone call with Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel. And he was telling Netanyahu, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? Everybody hates Israel now. You're going to wind up in prison. You can't do this stuff. You're lucky I'm around. That's supposedly what Trump said to Netanyahu. I don't know if that's true or not. A lot of times this stuff is made up. Other times it's a real phone call leaked. But let's say it's a real phone call leaked. I just got to ask a question. I never heard in 4 years a single phone call of Joe Biden with a world leader leaked. I never heard a single phone call in 8 years of Obama. A phone call leaked from a world leader with Obama. But under Trump, every phone call gets leaked. How is that not a violation of national security that should result in 20 years in a hard labor prison, right? Or Gitmo for treason. Do you know what kind of damage you can do to the United States and the United States military and the people fighting abroad by leaking phone calls like that? How are these phone calls being leaked when they're never leaked under a Democrat? If Trump wants to scream at Netanyahu, if FDR wanted to scream at Churchill, you didn't know about it, and you were better off not knowing about it. That's none of your business. Churchill and FDR scream at each other, and he calls him a name, and he calls him a name, and they choke each other out. And then when they come out of the meeting, they're best friends and they go, America and Britain will fight the Nazis. We're friends. What goes on behind the door? That's none of your damn business. That's called national security. That's called a fight among friends to defend the world from Hitler. Of course there's going to be disagreement. You have no right to hear the disagreement. So the person leaking it should go to jail for a lot of years. And nobody ever seems to go to jail. And it keeps happening again and again because nobody's ever punished. Amazing. Speaking of that, speaking of nobody ever being punished, the things they allow to happen to a Republican president, but not to a Democrat, an Obama judge shrugs off a Secret Service warning and says signs threatening to assassinate Trump can stay near the White House. Signs that say 8647. You know, that was the same thing that got Comey in trouble, 8647, meaning kill President number 47. Less than 2 weeks after a man was killed after opening fire on Secret Service agents' steps of the White House, just over a month since a man was charged with trying to assassinate Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, an Obama-appointed judge has ordered that a 8647 protest be allowed to continue near the White House. U.S. District Judge Randolph Moss. I wonder how Randolph Moss would react if I said on national TV that everybody should hold signs that say, kill Randolph Moss. Now, don't go and say Wayne said that, because I'm not saying that. I would never say that. That's disgusting. I want to throw Randolph Moss in a Gitmo prison cell, but I don't want him to die. I don't want him or his family to be hurt. I don't want anyone to kill him or to burn his house down and kill his family. But what if the sign said, kill Judge Randolph Moss? Would he say that's okay? Would he think that's okay? Would his fellow judges think that's okay? But it's okay to say that about Trump. Incredible. Energized Health is sponsor of this segment. You all know my Energized Health story. 6 years ago, I joined the program. I lost 25 pounds of fat. I gained 10 pounds of muscle. My life's never been the same. That's me at the age of 50. And now show me in the gym at the age of 65. Incredible difference. Thank you, Energized Health. You are my fountain of youth. You reversed aged me. I look younger now and feel younger now than at age 50, and I'm going to be 65 in July. I'll be on Medicare in July. Go to EnergizedHealth.com. Get on the same program as me. Say WAR when you speak to them, and you get 40% off to go on the same journey as me. EnergizedHealth.com, promo code WAR. Be right back. Another great day from Trump land. Man is dominating politics. I love when people told me, Trump is finished. No one likes him anymore. He doesn't do anything right. He hasn't backed up his campaign promises. That could be why in every primary, whoever he endorses automatically wins. That could be why. By Kip Herridge, my old buddy, and an economic expert CEO of Vertical Research Advisory. His website, VRAinsider.com. As I've explained on this show so many times, VRA has beaten the market in 19 of the last 22 years since Kip founded the VRA in 2003. Over the last 3 years, VRA had an average gain of 37%. Kip, congratulations on your success. I've seen it firsthand for over 22 years. I've read your newsletter for the last 22 plus years. You're my personal financial expert. How do you guys keep beating the markets almost every year when 90% of Wall Street money managers fail to do so?
Well, thanks, Wayne. You know, I worked in that environment for 15 years, worked at Wall Street 15 years, helped take 7 companies public, raised and managed several $100 million. And I know how the groupthink of Wall Street works, and that's not how people make money. 90% of money managers, as you say, don't beat the markets every year. We do. And the reason really is I had great mentors that helped me to create what we call our VRA investing system. It's our proprietary market timing and sector selection system that tells us when to be in the market, when to be out. when to be aggressive and when to take some profits and take some money to cash. And that helps us with our sector selection. Again, market timing, those are real keys. And we also love doing individual stock research. So that's where you put our clients and subscribers into, again, ETFs, individual stocks. And we also love Bitcoin and gold, as you know, and silver. In 2003, I recommended gold at $350 an ounce, silver at $5. We recommended Bitcoin at $2,000 in 2017. And combined with those three, we're up over 4,000% in gains for our 40 times your money for our subscribers. So we do things a little differently. Fifth and sixth generation native Texans, and we love what we do here in Texas.
Well, I'm a witness to all of it. I've been there for all of it. There's a lot of fear out there today, Kip. What should investors know about the stock market right now?
Yeah, you got to be in this market. That's what investors should know. Look, volatility is the price of admission. It just is. It comes with the territory. But these dips give us great buying opportunities. Look, we've been the most bullish market strategists in America for the last 4 years. We call this the innovation revolution meets the Trump economic miracle meets an absolute ocean of liquidity. Those are our big three. Again, Trump's economic miracle this year is really going to start paying its dues. We expect GDP growth to hit 5% this year. We expect the markets to, we think this bull market runs into the 2030s.
All right, everyone gets 2 weeks free automatically by going to VRAinsider.com. 2 weeks free. Judge for yourself. VRAinsider.com. Kip Herridge, thank you.
Thank you, Wayne.
A judge blocks ICE agents from conducting arrests at immigration courts in New York. A federal judge issued a ruling on May 18th barring federal agents from conducting arrests at 3 Manhattan immigration courts. The ruling by U.S. District Judge P. Kevin Castell stemmed from a lawsuit filed by the New York Civil Liberties Union, of course, and other groups on behalf of the DOOR and African Communities Together, which sought to challenge U.S. immigration and customs enforcement policies that allowed federal agents to arrest people in immigration courts. Castell had initially declined, this is the judge, Castell had initially declined to block the policy last September, but the plaintiffs later filed a motion in response to a March letter in which the government admitted the 2025 ICE guidance does not and has never applied to civil immigration enforcement actions at immigration courts. Actions. Warzone Live. Welcome to the show, coming from Las Vegas, national podcast, but we always show you scenes of Vegas because that's my adopted hometown of 24 years now. I love it here. Great life. Cindy and I got 4 kids. She's got 2 kids. Blended family of 6 children. Great life. Love Vegas. Best restaurants in the world. Sun's always out. No state income tax and no state capital gains tax. Second or third lowest property taxes in America as well. People don't know that. So great place to live. Great place to raise your family. We don't live on the Vegas Strip. We live in Summerlin, which is beautiful and crime-free and no problems. Everything's great. So good private schools, good place to live. We got a great guest coming up, Harmeet Dillon from the Civil Rights Division of the DOJ. I want to mention the sponsor of this segment before I get to Harmeet. It is VRA, as in Vertical Research Advisory, the stock newsletter. It's actually a global investment and economic newsletter. It's not stocks. I shouldn't say that because it's stocks and it's bonds and it's gold and it's silver and it's mining stocks and it's real estate and it's oil and it's gas and it's Bitcoin. It's everything. And the top performing recommendations of Kip Herriage, who founded VRA all the way back in 2003. He's now beaten the market almost 90% of the time, 19 out of 22 years. Barron's reports the average Wall Street money manager loses to the market 90% of the time. He beats the market 90% of the time. His biggest recommendations are called 10 baggers, and they were up 38% average over the past 3 years. 38% up, not over 3 years, each year in the last 3 years, up 38%. Have you been up 38% every year the last 3 years? Good luck. You can have that good luck if you subscribe to Kip's very inexpensive newsletter. He recommended gold at 315 ounce, Bitcoin at 2,000 a coin. Let Kip Herriage prove it to you for free. Go to VRAinsider.com. And exclusively for my fans, everybody gets 2 weeks free to test it out, do a trial run, and then you can decide to join. Very inexpensive to join, but 2 weeks are free, and I believe you will stay for life. Kip Herriage is at VRAinsider.com. I recommend it so highly. Every stock I own is recommended by Kip Herriage. Every stock in my portfolio, VRAinsider.com. All right, Harmeet Dillon is with Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights at the DOJ. She's been on several times before. She is fantastic, and we welcome her. Harmeet, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me back.
Yes, and you know, I got to ask you a couple legal questions before we even get to the stuff we were going to talk about, because two things are in the news today, and you're a great lawyer, and they just drive me crazy. I don't understand. Why can't we arrest Mayor Karen Bass of Los Angeles when she says out loud, "I am leading the resistance to ICE"? Isn't that saying that you're a traitor to the United States? You're aiding and abetting criminals, and you're going against federal law. It just seems to me if I was against a federal law that liberals loved, I would have a knock on my door. It would be a FBI, SWAT team at 5 a.m, and they drag me away in front of my wife, my kids, and my dog, right? How come liberal politicians get away with saying something? This is not a political difference. If you want to change the law, change the law. But if you say I'm against that law and I'm going to fight that law, I'm going to be the resistance to that law, we're not going to allow ICE in our city. Why aren't you aiding and abetting criminals or violating the Constitution? Why isn't that a crime?
Well, look, I think that there's a line between protected speech and between something that you can prove as a crime beyond a reasonable doubt. And so remember that a jury for this case would be in Los Angeles, and you have to, as a prosecutor, only bring cases that you believe you can prove beyond a reasonable doubt in that community. So I think that, I disagree with her statement, but, lawful resistance to the government is, and expressing that is protected speech. So it's not really clear from her statement. Now, if she picks up a brick and throws it through a window, that's a clear case. But speech is, something we're very protective of in our country.
Yeah, no, I get it, but I don't think it's speech. I think it's action. I think these are politicians.
It's not action
that
to
are
say
leading
those
the
words.
resistance, right?
So,
but she's leading the resistance. She's
Well,
leading the resistance against the government. If you lead the resistance against the government on January 6th, they say you're a horrible person. You should go to jail 4 years without a trial, and then they can put you in jail for 20 years like the Oath Keepers for leading the resistance, even though those people were not there on January 6th. And yet when a Democrat does it, we say it's okay. I don't get it. I really don't.
I don't think anyone said it was okay. We're talking about whether you can prove a case beyond a reasonable doubt in front of a jury in that community.
In L.A., yeah. Well, I don't know why you can't bring the case somewhere else, but I guess you'd have to bring it to D.C., which would be as bad as L.A. So we can't win anymore. You
can only bring it in L.A. It's not optional to bring a case to anywhere you feel like it in America.
Right. Yeah, well, America's screwed. Our country's going down the drain like Drano. And then the other one I was going to mention to you is the Obama judge today, who ruled it's just fine for protesters steps in the White House to have a protest called 8647 and hold signs that say 8647. How would a judge feel if they held signs that said, "Let's kill the judge"? Is that acceptable speech in the United States of America? Kill the president is acceptable speech blocks from the White House? I just don't get it. Again, you're going to say it's free speech, I guess, right?
The Department of Justice has taken the position that that particular phrase in conjunction with being close to the president can be viewed as an imminent threat. So that's a different fact pattern. I disagree. We disagree with the judge's ruling in that case. And, we'll see what further proceedings occur in that case. But we've certainly sought a criminal case against James Comey for using that phrase in public, and the president wasn't nearby. So I think it's very different when you have somebody who's actually been the subject of multiple assassination attempts, several in the last few months, and then doing that on the steps of where the person lives, who's the president of the United States. I think that's a different fact pattern.
Yeah, I think they're trying to normalize that saying so that people are allowed to say, let's kill the president, and they'll get James Comey off because it's now normal. They can protest right at the White House and say it's just fine. It's just things happening that are just so incredible. Anyway, and of course, they're stealing elections, and I want to compliment you. You found at least 350,000 dead people on the voter rolls. Tell us about the DOJ's lawsuits against 29 states and Washington, D.C. to gain access to the voter rolls, and are you, in fact, able to gain access to these voter rolls, or are they blocking you every step of the way?
About a third of the states have voluntarily cooperated with our request to look at the voter rolls and help these states clean up their voter rolls as they're required to do under federal civil rights laws. And then 2/3 of the states are in resistance mode. And, some of the federal courts are frankly in resistance mode. They have disagreed with our efforts. And so we've already argued 2 appeals in the Ninth Circuit, and in the Sixth Circuit, we've just noticed an appeal, if I'm not mistaken, in the First Circuit to preserve our rights there. And, we have other cases rolling in. And so we're going to challenge all of these. And ultimately, I think the Supreme Court is going to decide whether we get to help clean up the voter rolls or we have to live with dirty voter rolls. And I think that for confidence of citizens in the outcome of our elections, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, I think we can all agree that a baseline should be only people who are American citizens should be voting in our elections. And we certainly know that that's not the case. There have been multiple convictions over the last couple of years by state and federal prosecutors of people illegally voting. There are admittedly tens of thousands of non-citizens on the voter rolls in the states that are cooperating with us, and hundreds of thousands of people on the voter rolls who are dead or otherwise inappropriately on the voter rolls. Just today, a lawsuit was filed in California regarding California's voter rolls, and there admittedly being nearly 1 million people on the voter rolls who are not entitled to be on the voter rolls in California. That's a real problem. So we have to get a grip on this. Congress could do a better job and help tighten up some of these things, but we believe at the DOJ, even with existing tools, we have the right and the ability to clean up the voter rolls if states and, frankly, some judges would stop interfering with that right.
Yeah, look at Nevada, where I live, Las Vegas, Nevada. In Nevada, and again, it's all about motor voter, which is a federal law. It allows people to register to vote while they're at the DMV getting their license. And Nevada allows illegals to get a license at DMV. While they're there, they're automatically enrolled to vote. And I guess it's the Nevada legislature who passed a law that you can't even opt out. In other words, when you get your license, you're automatically registered to vote. So if illegal aliens are automatically registered to vote, which means they're now legal voters in their own mind, do you think any of them are not voting? Of course they're voting. They're now legally registered to vote. Once you get them registered, they have no problem voting on mail-in ballot. It's just a terrible situation.
I'm familiar with California's law, and in California, while the voter registration, and this is a federal law actually that facilitates motor voter, you still have to check a box saying you're entitled to register to vote, that you're a citizen, but that's not very much of a check. And so we actually, could strengthen that by requiring that there be a verification, just like when you check into a hotel, you have to show your ID. Mm-hmm. There could be a verification, but of course it benefits those who want everybody to be on the voter rolls, whether they're entitled to or not, to remove these safeguards from the system. So we definitely need to do a better job to tighten up the situation.
And what other things you do to secure the midterms? Because that's the whole ball of wax. If we win the midterms, Trump gets to finish 2 more years of his agenda and maybe, close a lot of loopholes. And maybe we start to win a lot of elections from 2028 on if we can make sure illegals are not voting. But if we lose the midterms, then pretty much everything Trump wants to do is down the drain. So what are we doing to secure the midterms?
I mean, this is not a partisan effort by the DOJ. We want to clean up the voter rolls regardless of who's in power. I think that's an important goal. And so we're going to continue to try to do that. And if we face reversals, we'll appeal them. I think ultimately the Supreme Court's going to have to decide the extent to which we can and should live with dirty voter rolls in this country. And I think the answer should be no, of course.
Yeah, look, you and I agree on that one, but I don't know if the Supreme Court does. We'll find out about birthright citizenship, and we'll find out about how far we can go to secure the voting rolls, I guess, in several upcoming Supreme Court decisions. Harmeet Dillon, we appreciate everything you're doing to clean up the voter rolls and everything you're doing to increase civil rights in this country. Thank you. At the DOJ, Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon, thank you for all you do.
Thanks for having me.
God bless. We'll be right back, folks. All right, one of my favorite guests ever, Allyn is with us, an advocate for GreatPatriotStore.com. He's been a customer for 36 years, almost 4 decades. My wife and I, Cindy, do much of our monthly shopping now at GreatPatriotStore.com. It's an alternative to wokeness. It's run by pro-American conservatives. USA Today voted it one of the best stores in America in 2025. And with all these communists taking over, Allyn Pariser, New York, Seattle, Chicago, promising cheap government groceries or free, you need to buy American. Tell us why.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of our competitors have completely lost it. They've gone totally woke over the years, but our founding axiom is really very simple. For 41 years, we've been focused on manufacturing exceptional products at reasonable prices, made by Americans, here in America, for Americans. And we've expanded. We have manufacturing plants across the United States, distribution plants across the United States. And not only can Americans get the best quality, the best price from Great Patriot Store, in most cases, we can deliver to your front door even faster than Amazon.
So prices are high everywhere. Procter & Gamble and Amazon are considering price increases. How do the prices at Great Patriot Store compare to national brands?
Well, we've got hundreds of products, Wayne, but if you just take a look at one like our laundry detergent, we make it, it's patented, and it's literally almost fractions, almost half the price of our competitors, and you get 96 loads of wash. It's the best value. There's no toxic chemicals in any of our products whatsoever. And if you're looking to lose some of those holiday pounds, you don't need the shots with the LPG-1 drugs. We have something called berberine. Nature's Ozempic is what people are calling it. It's legit, it works, and we've got it at a better price than any of our competitors.
All right, we've got just seconds to go, so be quick. I love your beef. I eat your sirloin and your New York steak all the time. It's kind of breakfast and lunch for me all the time. Why is your beef superior?
Made in America, never, ever any hormones, ever any antibiotics, no mRNA. It's all prime. It's the best quality that you can find at the best price, free shipping, and it's the best beef on the planet.
All right, to get your free gift, that's right, a free gift, purchase the beef and other great American products. You got to be a member. Go to GreatPatriotStore.com, fill out the form. One of their conservative team members will contact you right away. GreatPatriotStore.com. Happy New Year. Thank you, Allyn.
Thank you, Wayne. God bless.
Hi, I'm Wayne Allyn Root, CEO, conservative TV and radio host, and best-selling author. I believe in America and American exceptionalism. America is now focused on energy independence. Enter Lost Soldier Oil and Gas. It took 40 years to piece together this 40,000-acre giant gas discovery. The first 4,000 feet drilled so far are estimated to contain up to 6 trillion cubic feet of gas, making it one of the largest natural gas discoveries in the Rocky Mountain region in the last 30 years. This is how we power the AI future of America, with clean natural gas. Headed by oil and gas legend Mark Bruner, whose previous public companies, Pinnacle Energy and Ultra Petroleum, delivered spectacular returns for investors. At its peak, a $10,000 investment in Ultra Petroleum turned into over $13 million. To learn more about this Lost Soldier oil and gas opportunity, go to LostSoldier.com. Fill out the contact form. That's LostSoldier.com. Hi, this is Wayne Allyn. You know, I try and be so nice with my guests. I try and be so nice. I kissed her ass. What a vicious little bitch. That's what that woman was, a vicious little bitch. When I told her that the mayor of Los Angeles is preaching insurrection, oh, that's fine. It's free speech. And if they want to say 47, 86, 47, she maybe pushed back a little bit on that. A little bit we disagree with the judge's decision. But when it comes to the mayors saying they're leading insurrection against ICE, leading resistance against ICE, that is by any measure of the law, that is insurrection, that is communism, that is treason, that is a coup against the United States. And she says, no, it's not, it's free speech. And then she justifies it by saying it doesn't matter because you couldn't win with an LA judge and an LA jury. Well, that means that the United States needs to break up. We need revolution. We need a divorce, because that means in blue states, you can't uphold the law because you know the jury's the judge will rule against you every time. So it's okay to preach insurrection and to commit crimes and to aid and abet criminals. That's all fine, according to the Trump DOJ. I wonder if he knows that Harmeet Dillon says things like that. I'm going to make sure he knows, because these people are not really conservative patriots. They don't have a clue what it means to be MAGA. Not a clue. Unbelievable. No wonder we can't win anything. I say it again and again. They're vicious on the left, and we are cowards on the right. Everything we say, according to them on January 6th, was insurrection against the United States, against Joe Biden. Even if you went to a peaceful rally, you should spend 4 years in prison without trial. But she, the mayor of LA, leads proudly and openly insurrection against American law, federal law. And that's not a problem, according to Harmeet Dillon. You got people running our country, even under President Trump, that are just as miserable as the people who are leading the country under Obama and Biden. Because under Obama and Biden, everything is about partisan politics. It's got to be their way or the highway. You go to jail. We take everything away from you. We ruin your life. We sick the IRS on you. But under us, it's probably free speech, and we can't win the case anyway. You know, go back to your freaking country club and play badminton with Buffy. You cowards. You're dealing with such cowards. I tried to be so nice to her. See the snotty little attitude she had? She never broke a smile in the entire interview. She was pissed from the first minute that I brought up something that wasn't on the sheet that I was supposed to ask. What I brought up was on her side. Isn't she on Trump's side? Isn't she defending Trump? I bring up that they want to assassinate Trump, and even on that one, it was a lukewarm answer. That's what they all are, lukewarm people, lukewarm. They never have a view that's on our side, period. They never heard of being partisan. Listen to the way she was talking about the voter rolls. Oh, nothing's Republican or Democrat. It's all about nonpartisan. We want to help everybody. Now, maybe she has to say that one because no court would allow her to be partisan. I don't know. It seems to me the DOJ's a Biden and Obama were as partisan as you get. Eric Holder, as partisan as you get. The other one, the lady, the black lady that was the attorney general for a little while, can't even remember her name. She met on the runway with Bill Clinton to discuss the Hillary Clinton case. They don't mind being partisan at all, do they? They break the law every day. But our side, we got to be cool. We got to be lukewarm. We got to just be careful what we say and do. And yeah, when I said to her, that's not words free speech. When a mayor says, I'm leading the resistance against ICE, those are actions. That's not words. She's leading the resistance. It's not words. She says, oh, no, those are words. Do Democrats say that about us? This is why we lose. They're all a bunch of pussy cats. I'll be careful what I say on the air. You know what I meant to say, because that's what she is. A pussy cat. These people would not know how to fight a war if their life depended on it. And this is a war for the United States of America's survival. So disgusted by her attitude. And look how nice I tried to be to her. She didn't crack a smile. She wouldn't be nice of her life. She's an ice queen. Wow. These people are unbelievable. Not having her back on the show. That doesn't matter, does it? She's not coming back on the show. Oh my gosh, I just can't stand these people. I just can't stand them. Can't you ever stand and fight? Do you know how to stand and fight? Did you ever stand and fight? No, she's a woman. She's never had a fist fight in her life. I've had 100 of them. I knock people unconscious. Just fighting for my life. I had a gang of 20 guys with broken bottles in their hand, ready to cut my throat. And I fought for my life alongside a highway. There was nowhere to run because cars were going by at 70 miles an hour. And these people are playing golf or tennis with Muffy at the country club. That's all they've done their whole life. They don't know how to fight. They don't know how to come back from being down 8-0 in a badminton match. That's their claim to fame. Once they came back, it became 9-8 at the end. I'm a fighter. Oh yeah, you're a tough one. Wayne Allyn Root. War. See, my initials work. These people would know war if they saw it.
What would you say if we told you you could reverse most any ailment or symptom
without painful exercises in just 88 days? We have created the only patent-pending intercellular hydration protocol.
Don't miss your opportunity to feel better. We know there's a lot of false hope out there, and many people have bought programs that work for a moment, but life's a lot longer than a moment.
We have been helping people gain intercellular hydration for nearly 3 decades.
You will lose fat, not weight, fat. Fast, including that killer visceral fat. Chronic dehydration is one of the root causes of many ailments and symptoms. Ask your doctor about Energized Health. Don't miss your opportunity to transform your health now.
So log on to energizedhealth.com. That's energizedhealth.com.
Possible side effects may include increased joy, energy, potential reduction in prescriptions, more fulfilling relationships, fewer doctor visits, and overall improved quality of health and life.
Coming to you from Las Vegas. This is known as Warzone Live, Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. East Coast time. Great to be with you. All kinds of things happening. This is the mainstream media, not the mainstream media, and I am the biggest MAGA mouth in the world. We got a great guest. Dinesh D'Souza is with us. Dinesh, we appreciate you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Wayne.
Buckle up your seatbelts. Let's go to war. I'm an SOB, son of a butcher, and America has been great to me. Only in America could these things happen. People like my grandfather wouldn't make it where he came from, and my father wouldn't make it in any other country. Well, that's a no-brainer, right? We're the greatest nation in the history of civilization. No one else has ever come close.
Good to see you again, Wayne.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be back with you, my friend.
Doing great, Wayne. Good to be here.
The Root's on fire. Welcome to my show, Warzone Live. Monday through Friday, official podcast, The Gateway Pundit, from 6 to 8 p.m. East Coast time, 3 to 5 p.m. West Coast time every day. This is the Wayne-stream media. No more mainstream media allowed in. Only Wayne-stream media, meaning raw truth and in-your-face mother trucker information. As many of you know, I'm an idea man. I don't just criticize like 99% of TV and radio hosts. I contribute with doable solutions. The American people don't like it. I know. I speak to them. The people who believe in themselves and believe in this country and have a passion and a love for this country. And this country responds in kind by giving the most incredible mobility and opportunity in the world. And that's because of low taxes and very light regulation. Those are the two things in life that matter to me, taxes and regulation. If you don't have a lot of laws, a lot of woke laws, and a lot of communist, Marxist, socialist, leftist laws, and you don't have high taxes, then anybody who's smart can get ahead and achieve whatever they want in life.
Warning! The Root's on fire! You're about to experience the most high-octane, pedal-to-the-metal controversial show of your life. Please buckle up and hold on tightly. This station is not responsible for injuries. This is Wayne Allyn Root, raw and unfiltered, with America's favorite conservative rock star. Direct from the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas. What time is it? It's time for war! Here's your host, 100% raw truth, 100% American made, the warrior, Wayne Allyn Root.
All right, Wayne Allyn Root, welcome back. Hour number 2 of Warzone Live, official podcast, The Gateway Pundit. You saw me kind of freak out with a Root rant because I was so pissed at the response of Harmeet Dillon to the LA mayor's comments today that these people just don't think. No one in the DOJ thinks you're supposed to ever arrest a Democrat. Oh, of course not. Because if you arrest a Democrat, then when Democrats are in power, they'll arrest Republicans. Except we don't break the law. Don't you get it? They twist things to make it look like we've done something wrong. They try to convict Trump of something like the district attorney Alvin Bragg of Manhattan convicted Trump of something that no one's ever been convicted of in the history of New York. But these people are committing insurrection. Here's the article, okay? You decide whether Wayne Root's right or Harmeet Dillon, the assistant attorney general. L.A. Mayor Karen Bass vows to lead resistance against immigration agents during the World Cup. She is promising to lead a resistance. Those are words or those are actions? Those aren't words. She's leading the resistance. Do you understand that? Los Angeles set to host 8 World Cup matches, including U.S. men's national team opening match next Friday. And Homeland Security and Immigration and Customs, ICE, and U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP agents will be working alongside the FBI and local police to manage crowds and stop crimes such as drug smuggling and human trafficking. She's saying she wants to stop us from stopping human smuggling, drug smuggling, and human trafficking. Homeland Security Secretary Mark-Wayne Mullin stated in a recent video post to ICE's official X account that agents will be out there every day during World Cup matches. But Karen Bass, the mayor of LA, threatened that her city would resist again following last year's violent riots against immigration agents in LA. That's violence. Remember when they said Trump is the one who instigated January 6th in a speech? Isn't this instigating violence? Of course it is. And your answer is, oh no, it's words protected by free speech. Their words are protected by free speech, but our words are never protected by free speech. You talk about being bipartisan. You talk about not caring about one side or the other. How come they get to walk free at all times? They get a free pass to do whatever they want. It's unbelievable. What is it called when a woman lets her husband screw around for the day? It's called a day pass, right? Isn't that what they call it? I think they call it a day pass. He got a day pass. He can go screw a hooker or something. They say that in movies, right? Democrats have a lifelong pass. They can do whatever they want and never get in trouble because, as Harmeet Dillon, the Assistant Attorney General of the United States, says, well, it happened in a blue state, and, we can't prosecute in a blue state because we can never win because they've got juries and judges that are against us. Is that the answer that you want to hear in the United States of America? Karen Bass threatened the city would resist again. Our community resisted before. Our community will resist again, regardless of the World Cup. She's vowing to lead an uprising on behalf of illegal aliens. I will be standing there in support of Angelenos, regardless of who they are, why they're here, where they came from. It doesn't matter to me. She is aiding and abetting illegal aliens. Am I losing my mind? This is what a Republican Attorney General says to Wayne Root when I dare to say we should arrest a Democrat troublemaker who's leading an insurrection? Here's the people she's defending. And by the way, you just heard it. We're there. They didn't say we're there to arrest illegal aliens. They said we're there to arrest human traffickers and drug traffickers and child sex traffickers. She doesn't want that. But isn't that insurrection? Isn't that treason? Isn't that a coup against the government? And you go, well, you can't win that case in California. No, she doesn't even know her own law. It's a violation of federal law. It is not a California case. It could be taken to a federal court, a federal district court, and then it could be taken to the Supreme Court. But of course, we all know the Supreme Court is full of pussy cats. They're all pussy cats, all of them. I just would like to get in an alley with some of these Republican rhino loser cowards and see how long they'd last with me. They wouldn't last 1 second. One punch and the fight would be over because they're all pussy cats. They don't know how to fight for America. Even for America, they won't fight. Nothing would make them fight. Not with physical fight. Not with words fight, not with using the law to fight. They just don't know how to fight. They only know how to give up and compromise. So basically what's happened all these years, this is why America's effed. Because every time Republicans win, and every 10 years we win something, right? And when we win, everything stays kind of the same. It doesn't get worse. They don't make it better. They just hold off the enemy and it stays the same. And then the Democrats win and it gets way worse. They go for the jugular. They get everything they want and the country goes 50% downhill. And then we win again. And in reaction to that overreaction they committed, we win again. And it just stays status quo for 4 years. Everything's fine. Nobody ever does anything. That's our life, man. Status quo 4 years. Everybody's nice. Can't we all just get along? Can't we sing Kumbaya? And then they win, and it's like, stab, stab, stab. You die, mother trucker. You die. And then we win, and it's like, can't we just sing Kumbaya again? This is what's happened to America because Republicans let it happen. Democrats go for the kill. The kill shot. The money shot. Republicans, they are not snipers. They are yachters. They're private jetters. They don't know anything about going for the kill. We should elect Dana White, the president of the United States. Put Dana White in as the attorney general, the UFC guy. Dana White will knock some sense into these people. Because look what you're fighting against. ICE deports convicted killers, child sex abusers, and gangbangers. ICE is continuing to deport thousands of illegal aliens, including most recently those convicted of crimes like murder and child sexual abuse, as well as gang members. So here's just a few of the stories of who we're fighting against that Karen Bass is recommending resistance in favor of. Among those deported last month, Emilio Lopez Cruz of the Dominican Republic. Lopez Cruz was previously convicted of murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, 4 counts of weapons violations, and illegal re-entry after removal. Lopez Cruz first arrived in the U.S. in 1993 on a B-1 business visitor visa. Deported to the Dominican Republic in 2014 following a felony conviction in the United States. In 2024, illegally crossed the southern border back into the U.S., was convicted of illegal reentry. ICE agents similarly deported Winston George Marson of Jamaica, convicted on 6 counts of child molestation. Did we lose? We lost again, Daniel? We're out? No TV? Oh, Pitar says we lost. I'm looking at the screen and there's no picture. He says we should be good. All right. I don't know. All right. Like Lopez Cruz, he arrived in the U.S. on a B-2 visa in 1970. 7 years later, he adjusted his status to a green card. Now he has a felony conviction for child molestation. Rafael Bernardo Alvarez Badia was deported to his native Costa Rica after having been convicted of lewdness with a child under 16, possession of child sexual abuse material, and using a child for sexual portrayal, whatever that means, sexual portrayals, whatever it is, isn't good. Alvarez Badia arrived in the U.S. in 2008 as the spouse of an American citizen and adjusted status to green card. Then there's Aquino Zarate of Mexico, an unknown Godaway who was previously convicted on 9 counts of aggravated sexual assault of a child, 5 counts of indecency with a child by contact, and continuous sexual abuse of a child. Hernandez Romero, deported to his native Mexico after he was convicted of assault with a firearm, carrying a loaded unregistered firearm, and battery. He crossed the southern border as a child Godaway, and he's a documented member of the 41st Street Gang. These are the scumbags, the human garbage that litters our streets that could have a run-in one time in their life with your son or your daughter and kill them or rape them, or both, kill them and rape them. And Democrats fight for them every day, and we keep saying, well, that's just free speech. No, it's not free speech. It's treason against the United States. ICE pleads with Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger not to release an illegal alien accused of raping a girl. These are the people Democrats fight for. And I'm telling you, someone needs to make the case that it's treason and it's insurrection and it's a coup against Donald Trump's administration and the United States government. And it is aiding and abetting the worst criminals in the world who aren't even American citizens. Why would an American politician fight for foreigners who aren't even American citizens that broke into our country illegally? It's like the police fighting on the side of someone who breaks into your house and taking his side over you, the homeowner, which I'm sure happens every day in this crazy, mixed up, screwed up country that we've got right now. Probably happens every day in every jurisdiction, because they've even got the cops woke nowadays. We'll be right back. A swatting incident has been thwarted as police respond to reports of gunshots at Amy Coney Barrett's home in the latest assassination attempt against a conservative justice. Police late Wednesday responded to a call for a suspicious noise thought to be gunshots at the home of Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett. Law enforcement realized it was a swatting call after meeting with Amy Coney Barrett's security detail. President Trump wants to make America the energy capital of the world, make America energy independent again. Here is a project that could help accomplish that, or certainly go a long way to helping accomplish it. I'm so proud to introduce you to a real America hero of the energy industry, Mark Bruner, founder and CEO of Lost Soldier Oil and Gas. Mark is a second-generation oil and gas legend whose companies have created more than $15 billion in shareholder value, including Ultra Petroleum. But Lost Soldier could be bigger than Ultra Petroleum, with what could be the largest gas discovery in the United States in 100 years. It's 40,000 acres. It took them 40 years to piece it together in Wyoming. Mark, welcome. How are you?
I'm great. Good to see you again, Wayne.
Tell us more about Lost Soldier. What have you got?
Well, I think we've got a really big gas field. I mean, in order to understand why it's just being done now, you got to understand the history. There was a uranium mine out here, and whenever there was a meltdown by 3 Mile Island, they started reclamating this mining and shut it down. 3 years ago, I got a call that basically asked me if I would drill it because they finally got the release and the reclamation was over and they had permits to drill it. So we drilled it, and it's the biggest discovery that I've ever made, okay? It's basically deep overpressured gas. Starting at around 13,000 feet, it's like a layer cake. It's just zone of overpressure is what it is. So we're very excited about it. The other great thing is that it's surrounded by infrastructure, legacy fields that are essentially run out, and billions of dollars of infrastructure is there for us to utilize, and we don't have to build it. We're building a 5 mile line to hook into that infrastructure, and we believe we can produce up to 400 million a day within 36 months to fill that line, and then we're going to build a bigger line. That's the plan, and yeah, we couldn't be more excited, Wayne, about what we have.
Hey, Mark, listen, I want to make sure people that contact you, if they're accredited investors and they want to hear more about the project, they want to get involved, they go to lostsoldier.com. Lostsoldier.com. Mark's got a whole team. Every one of them has 40 plus years of experience in the energy and oil business, and they will contact you, call you back, or email you back, and they'll get back to you as soon as they can. Lost Soldier Oil and Gas. You want to get involved, he's the man. So this is what they try and do. They call the police and they tell you that either they're hearing gunshots or they're hearing a horrible argument and then gunshots, or they say someone's screaming for help. A husband has just taken a wife hostage. You better get the SWAT team here. And the SWAT team shows up at your house and they could break the door down and murder you, literally. And it would be murder. If you break my door down and nothing's going on, and I come out with a gun to defend my house against a group of criminals and it turns out to be SWAT and they shoot me dead, that's called murder. That's called assassination. Not just by SWAT, but it's assassination by the people who called SWAT. And you've traumatized the SWAT guys for the rest of their lives. All right, Wayne Allyn Roots, market under the category of no Sherlock. I didn't say that word, so you don't have to bleep. I didn't say it, but no Sherlock. State Department issues travel advisory for Mexico. They said many violent crimes take place in Mexico. They include homicide, kidnapping, carjacking, sexual assault, and robbery. Hey, by the way, that sounds like a nice day in L.A. to me. There's a risk of terrorist violence, including terrorist attacks and other activity in Mexico. The U.S. government has limited ability to help in many parts of Mexico, a large country in which conditions can vary widely from state to state and even within a state. U.S. government employees may not travel to certain high-risk areas, which may be within states that include low-risk areas. So what they're telling you is, you're on your own. We can't help you. Don't go to Mexico. And I got to laugh because a lot of conservative MAGA friends of mine who think they're big Republicans and vote for Trump, whenever they go away, they go, I'm in Mexico. I go, where are you? Well, I'm in Mexico. I'm in Acapulco. I'm in Cabo. I'm in this. I'm in that. And I always go, you're giving money to the enemy. You know, if we cut off Mexico and nobody went to Mexico anymore, we could bring that whole country economically to collapse and to their knees, begging us for help, and then that narco-terrorist state, which is what Mexico is, would allow America to come in with their permission and kill the cartels. But as long as you keep feeding the beast and giving money to the narco state of Mexico, a very dangerous place that you and your family could be kidnapped, killed, raped, as it is. But forget all that. You're giving them money. You're feeding the beast. You're feeding the problem. You know, I don't go to Mexico. I've never been on vacation in Mexico in my life. I've been to Mexico, never been on vacation. I had a business trip once there in the early 2000s. I think it was, if I remember correctly, I was in Guadalajara in Mexico City on a business trip. Way inland, nowhere near the water, nowhere near the beaches, nowhere near fancy resorts. But it was a business trip at the time. I was doing business with someone who was going to invest in my company, and they lived in Guadalajara, and I went there. That was 20 years ago or 25 years ago. But I've never been on vacation in Mexico in my life because I don't want to give them money. I don't want to be, and I don't want to be in a place where I could be kidnapped and killed, or my family could be kidnapped or killed. Why don't people understand this? Why do you continue to vacation in Mexico? I'm sure it's pretty, but there are better places to go inside the United States. The problem is it's very hard to find a place that's beautiful that isn't involved in liberal politics. For instance, California is beautiful, but I don't go there anymore. So now that option is out. Hawaii's beautiful, and I continue to go once a year to Hawaii. I love Hawaii, but Hawaii votes solidly blue Democrat, and they've got crazy, ultra-liberal, Trump-hating politicians with Trump derangement syndrome. I don't find the people have it. I don't know, you know, again, it's probably because the vote is completely rigged. Because when I speak to the front desk people in any Hawaiian resort, and I mention politics, they're all like, I'm with you. I love Trump. So, you know, it's funny. I think it's the same everywhere. If you work for a living, you vote Republican. And if you get welfare and you're a lazy-ass SOB, you vote Democrat. So the people that work their asses off, like in Las Vegas, all the working men and women. I mean, everyone who is not an illegal alien. I mean, if I meet an illegal that works for a casino, I'm sure they vote Democrat. But the ones that I meet, every restaurant I go to, the waiters, the waitresses, the people, the managers, the hostess, the host, the general manager, the owner, they're all raving Trump Republicans. They listen to my show. They love my show. Working men, and especially men, but working men and women tend to vote overwhelmingly Republican. So I'm sure, when I go to Hawaii, everyone I meet is a Republican, even though the state votes Democrat. So I continue to go to Hawaii once a year. It's a beautiful place. But at least it's in the United States. At least I'm giving money to a United States state. At least I'm giving money to the Americas. I'm not giving money to Mexico, or I would never go to Canada anymore. There's another beautiful place you can't go to anymore. And of course, Europe is gone. Europe is shot. So it's got to the point there's almost nowhere to go anymore. But I certainly wouldn't give my money to Mexico. That was the whole point of this conversation. And I certainly wouldn't travel in Mexico because of the crime. But, there's a lot of American states that are as bad as Mexico. Massachusetts church cancels July 4th celebration to better understand our own whiteness. There goes Boston. Can't go there anymore. We know how bad Massachusetts is. Lost Soldier Oil and Gas, sponsor of this show. The golden age of Trump prosperity, all about making America the energy capital of the world. Enter Lost Soldier Oil and Gas. It took 40 years to piece together this 40,000-acre giant gas discovery in Wyoming. The first 4,000 feet drilled so far estimated to contain up to 6 trillion cubic feet of gas, making one of the largest natural gas discoveries in decades in the Rocky Mountain region. Headed by oil and gas legend Mark Bruner, his last two big companies, both public companies, 100-to-1 return for investors in one, 1,000-to-1 in the other. To learn more about Lost Soldier Oil and Gas, go to lostsoldier.com. Fill out the contact form. They'll get right back to you. lostsoldier.com. If you don't have a lot of laws and you don't have high taxes, then anybody who's smart can get ahead and achieve whatever they want in life. And Exhibit A and Example A is me and my family, right? My grandfather came here without 2 cents in his pocket, and really America was great to him. And my father was born without 2 cents in his pocket in Brownsville, Brooklyn, on Pitkin Avenue, one of the worst places in the world still to this day. And America was great to him, and he became a butcher, but a butcher store owner. That's a big difference. And I'm an SOB, son of a butcher, and America has been great to me. Only in America could these things happen. People like my grandfather wouldn't make it where he came from, Germany, and my father wouldn't make it in any other country, and me, Wayne Allyn Root, listen, I went from an SOB, son of a butcher, in a working class neighborhood in Mount Vernon, New York, on the Bronx borderline, attending one of the worst high schools in America, 4,000 students, so almost 100% black, and a few tough Italian guys, and me, one Jew. I'm joined by Kip Herridge, my old buddy, and an economic expert, CEO of Vertical Research Advisory. His website, VRAinsider.com. As I've explained on this show so many times, VRA has beaten the market in 19 of the last 22 years since Kip founded the VRA in 2003. Over the last 3 years, VRA had an average gain of 37%. Kip, congratulations on your success. I've seen it firsthand for over 22 years. I've read your newsletter for the last 22 plus years. You're my personal financial expert. How do you guys keep beating the markets almost every year when 90% of Wall Street money managers fail to do so?
Well, thanks, Wayne. I worked in that environment for 15 years, worked at Wall Street 15 years, helped take 7 companies public, raised and managed several $100 million. And I know how the groupthink of Wall Street works, and that's not how people make money. 90% of money managers, as you say, don't beat the markets every year. We do. And the reason really is I had great mentors that helped me to create what we call our VRA investing system. It's our proprietary market timing and sector selection system that tells us when to be in the market, when to be out, when to be aggressive, and when to take some profits, and take some money to cash. And that helps us with our sector selection. Again, market timing, those are real keys. And we also love doing individual stock research. So that's where you put our clients and subscribers into, again, ETFs, individual stocks, and we also love Bitcoin and gold, as you know, and silver. In 2003, I recommended gold at $350 an ounce, silver at $5. We recommended Bitcoin at $2,000 in 2017. And combined with those three, we're up over 4,000% in gains for our 40 times your money for our subscribers. So we do things a little differently. Fifth and sixth generation native Texans, and we love what we do here in Texas.
Well, I'm a witness to all of it. I've been there for all of it. There's a lot of fear out there today, Kip. What should investors know about the stock market right now?
Yeah, you got to be in this market. That's what investors should know. Look, volatility is the price of admission. It just is. It comes with the territory. But these dips give us great buying opportunities. Look, we've been the most bullish market strategists in America for the last 4 years. We call this the innovation revolution meets the Trump economic miracle meets an absolute ocean of liquidity. Those are our big three. Again, Trump's economic miracle this year is really going to start paying its dues. We expect GDP growth to hit 5% this year. We expect the markets we think this bull market runs into the 2030s.
All right, everyone gets 2 weeks free automatically by going to VRAinsider.com. 2 weeks free. Judge for yourself. VRAinsider.com. Kip Herridge, thank you.
Thank you, Wayne.
Why is freedom worth defending? Well, because there's nowhere else to go. There's no other country in the world to go to. So where are we going to escape to? We got to make America work. I would ask the opposite question. Why do all you communists and Marxists and socialists want to change America? Why do you stay where you are? And those of you who were born here that want communism, the Bernie Sanders morons, the AOC morons, why don't you just go to the communist countries? Why are you so intent on changing something that works so well in the greatest country in the history of civilization? Who'd be dumb enough to want to change that? Democrats. All right, Wayne Root, welcome back. Warzone Live, official podcast, the Gateway, punting over a billion page views a year, 2.5 million daily readers, fifth biggest conservative news site, or fifth most popular conservative news site in the United States of America. We've got a great guest standing by, talking about a great event coming up this weekend in Las Vegas. But in the meantime, I want to mention Bond Arms, the sponsor of this segment. This is the 250th anniversary of America, and they've got a gun worthy of President Trump's 250th big-time anniversary celebration, introducing the Bond Arms America 250 edition handgun, American-made, precision-crafted, built like a tank, performs like a hand cannon. This little gun, which is a work of art, look how beautiful it is, takes shotgun shells. Look at the size of the chamber. Shotgun shells in a small gun. It is the smallest, most powerful personal protection handgun you can carry, designed to honor America's past, built to last for generations, and a work of art to hand out to your family. And for fans of Wayne Root, $100 off. It's only $499, as in $499 for this beautiful gun. I've got a black one and I've got a silver one. Secure your America 250. It's special price of $499 only for fans of Wayne Root. $100 savings, and they've got many other guns that are even smaller, including women's guns, smaller in pink with Melania on them. All kinds of artwork. They're just the most beautiful guns, very unique And those guns are less than $300, $299, and you get a rebate. So maybe you'll wind up spending like $275 or $250 for a beautiful gun for your wife. Supplies are limited. Go now to getbondarms.com, getbondarms.com. My guest is with us, Peter Palavos. Let me pronounce it right here. Peter Palavos, chairman for the Day of Gratitude at Allegiant Stadium this Saturday, June 6th from noon to 4 p.m., featuring Big and Rich, the country duo. DayofGratitudeAmerica.com is the website, DayofGratitudeAmerica.com. Second year for the Day of Gratitude event. This year's event even bigger than last year's and is in conjunction with D-Day, which is June 6th, same day of the event. This is one of the Freedom 250 celebrations across the country, recognizing our 250th anniversary. And this gratitude is about saluting veterans, military families, and first responders. Peter, welcome to the show. How are you?
Feel great. Thank you for having me on your program, Wade.
For a second time. We had you on maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. And I've run into Peter a few times since then, and I'll be coming to your home on Friday night for your kind of VIP get-together with some generals and military big shots and government big shots. It'll be a lot of fun. But tell me about Saturday. You expect about 20,000 people to attend?
Yes, really excited. We have a cap of 20,000 guests at Allegiant Stadium. And to show you the hunger that exists in America for what we're doing, which is to rally around our flag in red, white, and blue. As of this morning, we have 34,000 people registered.
Wow. So you might have 30,000 at the event, not 20,000. You don't really know yet. It might go much bigger than you think.
We have a huge waiting list because we have a cap of 20,000 tickets, and what a wonderful problem we have. Again, when you do these events, you always worry about people not responding. Here, the response has been overwhelming from the community.
That's great. That's great to hear. And the Day of Gratitude is about patriotism, and it's about community. And tell us all the things that are going to happen at this event. It's like an all-day event. Besides Big and Rich, country duo, what else goes on at this event?
We're honored to have official medal presentations. We're working with Nellis Air Force Base and Creech Air Force Base, which are some of the top Air Force bases we have in the world. And they're going to honor some war heroes at our event. So we're going to have an official medal presentation from our military. We're also honoring 4 veterans who have served our country for many years, including 4-star General Andrew Poppas, who was head of the U.S. Army in America, who recently retired. And most importantly, we're going to honor about 15 World War II heroes who are coming to our city and our stadium from all over America.
And why Las Vegas? Why are you having this event in Vegas? Why not, say, San Diego, which is a big area for veterans? Why Vegas?
There's a tremendous unity in our state. Of course, I live in Nevada, but Nevada is a very strong pro-military, pro-veteran state. And we have a tremendous response from the community. Shout out to the Raiders organization for giving us the stadium for free. That's a $2 million gift. And a lot of cities don't do that. I'm very grateful to the city of Las Vegas and the great state of Nevada for supporting what we're doing, because all of this is done pro bono. It's all volunteer work, and the response from the community and community leaders and of course, the Raiders administration and organization has just been immense.
So you got the stadium for free donated by the Raiders. That's huge. A $2 million donation it adds up to by the Raiders. So that's a fantastic thing. I didn't know the Raiders did things like that. I had no idea.
Yeah, they've done that twice now for us in honor of our veteran and military heroes. And all in, this event will probably be a $5 or $6 million event between the stadium, value of $2 million, and we've raised several $1 million, where we're going to buy $3 million of home goods, toys, shoes for the 5,000 plus kids who will show up. So this is our way of telling our American heroes, our veteran, military, and first responder heroes that we appreciate you, not with words, but with deeds. So we're going to do this magnificent event for them. And everybody that comes to this event, Wayne, every family will get a voucher to go have a shopping experience well, they'll pick up hundreds of dollars of important items for their families.
That's great. I mean, I'm someone who does believe, obviously, that it's a worthy goal to give, lots of free gifts at Christmas time to poor children whose families can't afford it. That's wonderful. That's nice. I think it's great. But that's not what you're doing. You're not giving gifts to random poor children. You're giving gifts, I assume, to the children of active duty military and military veterans, which I think is a wonderful thing to do. Am I correct? That's the children that will be attending are in the families of military.
Correct. It's an exclusive event for a military veteran and first responder families. And this is a way of us showing our gratitude and appreciation to the men and women who do so much for our country and who keep us safe.
Now, I see in my notes this is one of the Freedom 250 celebrations across the country, recognizing America 250, our big anniversary. Trump is celebrating in a big way. Is this in conjunction with the federal government? In other words, how do you become part of America 250? Do you do this through the government, through the military, through some sort of government agency?
So we're a sponsored event of Freedom 250. It's the reason is because they appreciate what we're doing. Our focus is really just to honor the men and women who serve our country, and we're uniting our city. We're uniting our state. We're the largest event of this kind in America this year, with 20,000 people participating, who we will honor and show our gratitude to.
Are some of them flying in from around the country, or are these pretty much all Vegas families? Because I see here in my notes that Nevada is home to 218,000 military vets and thousands of active duty military personnel. So I guess the question becomes, are these pretty much all Vegas people, or are these and Nevada people, or are these coming from other places in the country as well?
Well, you'd be surprised, but they're flying in from all over the world. As the message got out that we're doing this special event, my cousin, for example, Navy Commander Demetrius Grimes is coming in from Europe. People are flying in from all over America. I had a World War II hero, a 101 young Marine, call me the other day. He actually fought on D-Day, June 6, 1944, and he would be honored to attend. And we're trying to work out his flight arrangements and hotel accommodations. And this individual, just an American hero who actually fought on D-Day in 1944 and got wounded that day. So we got a shout out to any World War II heroes anywhere in America. Reach out to us. We'd love for you to come here. We're going to work out cover your airfare, cover your hotel stay, because this is America's greatest generation. Don't forget, Wayne, all these World War II heroes, and there's only about 2,000 left in America, were America's greatest generation. These men and women served, went through very difficult times, and their whole life was centered on love of country.
Yeah, that's my dad, by the way. My dad is no longer with us, but my dad fought on Saipan in Okinawa. Mostly Okinawa. That was his big claim to fame, is that he, was there for the entire Okinawa conflict. U.S. Navy vet on loan to the 6th Marine Division as a radio operator. So he was basically a Marine at Okinawa, a Navy at Saipan, and really very rarely talked about anything he did. He had photos from the war, but I found them by mistake in his closet one day. He never showed me. He never talked about it. A typical World War II vet. They never came home and talked about the heroic things they did.
Absolutely. And thank you for your dad's service. This was America's greatest generation. Remember, the fighting in World War II was fierce because we went up against really two very strong nations in Japan and Germany. They had seasoned troops. So when we got into the war after 1941, the bombing of Pearl Harbor, we met fierce opposition. And on D-Day, for example, when our men and women landed on D-Day in the Normandy beaches of France on June 6, 1944, they met fierce resistance. And on that day alone, over 2,500 American heroes died and over 5,000 got wounded, which shows you how fierce the battles were. And yet, these men and women who served in World War II are the most humble, the greatest Americans.
Peter, we got to go out. I'm getting a 5 count in my ear. Peter Palavos, the website's dayofgratitudeamerica.com. Thank you, Peter. public school, which is a joke. It's all wasted. They're all a bunch of, nice kids who aren't learning a damn thing, and they're turning out dummies when they don't have to be dummies, because they're kids that could be, their lives are being wasted. They could be as smart as any kid in the world. I don't care if they're black, I don't care if they're Latino, I don't care if they're white. They are all precious, and their lives are being wasted, and they're never gonna get a good job because they learn absolutely nothing in these schools that are nothing more than communist brainwashing factories that don't teach reading, writing, or arithmetic anymore. They just brainwash you all day and let you take days off to go, protest President Trump. But the cost is like $50,000 a pupil in California and New York. So you get an illegal immigrant family, from like Mexico as an example. These families have 8 kids, 6 kids, 10 kids. Let's just say 4 kids. What's 4 times 50,000? 200,000 a year before you get to welfare, food stamps, and 300 other welfare programs. And before you get to prison costs and police costs and court costs. Just the school alone is 200,000 a year. Wayne Allyn Root, I am joined by Gordon Bond. What an honor. Owner of Bond Arms, one of the great gun manufacturers, all made in the USA, all made in Texas. His website is getbondarms.com. Gordon, what makes Bond Arms different from any other gun manufacturer?
Well, we when my brother started the company a long time ago, the regular Derringer, let me see if I can get it in the picture here, was basically known as a cheap, dangerous throwaway gun. This is a 1865 model. Derringers have been around forever. And what he did was take a dangerous gun and just made it very cool by better materials, trigger guard, interchangeable barrels, solid stainless steel. And Wayne, like you saw at the show, people love picking them up and just holding them. And it's just like, they pick it up and it's like, wow, this is like a real gun.
That's great. I saw it. My wife and I were at the show, and she's a gun aficionado even more than I am. And she said it was the best booth at the entire gun show. Out of thousands of booths was Gordon's booth, Bond Arms. To celebrate America's 250th anniversary, Bond Arms is releasing the American 250 edition handgun at a special price only for my fans. Tell us about it.
So one thing that we wanted to do, when I graduated in 1976, it was the bicentennial, and that's all they talked about all year long. And so when this 250th anniversary was coming up, we really wanted to do something special on this. And what you're seeing on the screen right now is the stainless steel version. It's 45 long Colt and 410 shotgun shell, very well built. I mean, our guns are built like a tank. People love the quality. They call it a hand cannon, best snake gun you've ever had. There's a beautiful side with the flag and the Liberty. And people just love the way that we do things. I mean, they'll come to our booth every year and just go, wow, what are y'all doing this year? You know, what crazy thing are you doing this year? So the American 250, we're really going to focus on that. We want to give everybody the opportunity to own a piece of history.
Gun. What a beautiful gun. What a gorgeous gun. The engravings. Wow. And I love that name, hand cannon. I want a hand cannon. Mine got delivered today. I'll have them for next week's show. My own personal hand cannon from Bond Arms. How do you get it? Go to getbondarms.com. See the number on the screen, getbondarms.com, or call 817-573-4445. See the disclaimer on the bottom of the screen for certain restrictions. Getbondarms.com. Gordon, thank you.
Thank you, Wayne.
J.D. Vance just announced that Wayne Allyn Roots. We're discussing this crazy woman in Long Island. A guy invites, he lives in his mom and dad's house. 29 years old. That's the first problem. Doesn't deserve to die for that. But I don't know why you're 29 years old living in mommy and daddy's house. Obviously, no, ambition in life. But he's living in the basement of mom and dad's house, and he invites some girl that he knows. It's not a stranger. They've known each other since I think high school, and he invites her over to have sex, and I guess smoke some pot probably. It says that there might have been drugs involved, but the police found no evidence of it. So how did they know there were drugs involved? I don't know. Maybe the pot smell was there, but whatever it was, he invites her over to have sex. And something he says triggers her. She comes in through the basement, and they're lying in bed together. I don't know if they just did it or didn't do it yet. And she stabs him to death. And he makes it up the stairs screaming for his mother and father, bleeds to death in their arms, and she's arrested for killing him. So, one of those lessons in life, be careful who you invite over your house. Wow, that is a nutty woman. My God. The EU climate scam is exposed. The IPCC. Now, let's see what the IPCC is, because I know the United Nations just admitted this. So I guess it's a United Nations organization. It's their own climate organization has finally admitted what skeptics have screamed for years. Their favorite apocalyptic scenario, the one predicting civilization ending, global warming, floods, fires, and famines, unless we destroy our economies with Green New Deals, is implausible. It's fake junk science. They've said this for so many years that it's wonderful, it's proven, the world is going to die, we're all going to die, we've got to go to green energy, we've got to go to climate change. We got to assume global warming is real, and all of a sudden they're admitting it was never real. The net zero madness would have bankrupted every economy in the world. Thank God people like me screamed, you can't do net zero. You can't do any of this green energy, climate change madness, because there will be no jobs. There will be no jobs left for anybody. The world will not be able to drive a car. We'll be driving donkey carts with, like Cuba, donkey carts with candlelight in our homes. If liberals got their ways, if environmentalists got their ways. So they finally admit it was all implausible garbage. But Brussels, which is where, Europe, the EU is based, the EU government is based, Brussels refuses to scrap a single regulation built on that lie. The United Nations now admits green energy was an implausible lie. It could never work. It could never happen. Nothing they said was true. They admit that. It was all a scam, and it was all a fantasy, and it was all made up. But yet all the rules that were put in place to prevent this disaster that was never real, that was fantasy, they're still in place. They won't get rid of any of them. So Europe is just finished. I've said for years now, and on this show thousands of times, that Europe is finished because of the way that they have treated open borders and because of all the people they've allowed in. And I think they went from about 500,000 Muslims at the year 2000, the start of the century, 500,000 Muslims to now 50 million. They're done. But climate change, it may be even worse than letting in 50 million Muslims. Maybe it's even worse because you can't do business with climate change. It destroys business. The regulations destroy business. And also the deal with climate change is it kills jobs, good jobs, and it raises the rates of electricity and gas and everything else. So middle-class people cannot survive. Speaking of the way they've treated people in Europe, not just open borders, but the people that get destroyed by open borders, the middle class, and you could say it out loud, I think, without being a racist, the white middle class, just like in America, whiteness has been under attack. Britain's George Floyd moment is here, and yet nobody's rioting because white people never riot. Have you ever seen white people rioting? No. No, there's no white people rioting. There never has been a white person rioting. Maybe they should. But it was horror. So this kid, this white kid, gets stabbed, and there's a body cam footage. There's body cam footage of the white guy being stabbed. 18-year-old Henry Nowak pleads with officers after he's stabbed by a Sikh man named Vikram Digwa. He's an accounting and finance student walking home from a night watching a soccer game, and this Digwa guy, this Sikh, stabs him 5 times with an 8-inch knife in the face, the legs, and the chest. And he tried to flee, but he was bleeding profusely. When the police arrived, 3 female cops arrived. He told this Digwa guy who stabbed the guy, told the police that Nowak, the white kid, was a racist and knocked off his Sikh head wrap. And we've just been attacked by someone racially. We've been attacked racially by a white person, they told police. And Novak begged the police to help him. He said he'd been stabbed, and I can't breathe, I'm dying. The police didn't believe him. They handcuffed him, and he lay handcuffed and bleeding to death. And he died. And the guy got sentenced to life in prison today, thank God. The stabber got sentenced to life in prison. But isn't that just like George Floyd and all the other racial things that go on in America? But a white person was the victim. That's England today. See you tomorrow. God bless. Hi, this is Wayne Allyn Root. If you're sick and tired of supporting woke companies, I have great news for you. You don't have to anymore. You can shop where my family shops at GreatPatriotStore.com. My team researched thousands of companies for my best-selling book, The Great Patriot Boycott Book, and one stood out above all, GreatPatriotStore.com. This is the answer to inflation. Hundreds of household products that you're already buying. Much higher quality, no toxic chemicals, delivered right to your door at incredible prices. 20,000 American families are joining every month, and you should too. And now they've got the beef, pasture-raised with no hormones, antibiotics, or mRNA ever, exclusively available only to their members. Like Costco or Sam's Club, you need to become a member. Go to GreatPatriotStore.com, fill out the form, and they'll contact you right away. And boom, you're a member. For a limited time, the annual membership is $1. Go to GreatPatriotStore.com. That's GreatPatriotStore.com.